The power of the firefly dares to compete with the bright moon. Wang Lin snorted coldly. His voice turned into layers of ripples, crashing against the shrill roar, creating a series of explosive sounds. At that moment, black mist suddenly erupted from the demon soul vase. Within the mist, ancient demon souls roared, struggling within the fog. The moment they appeared, they immediately twisted and rolled, charging toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin remained composed. As the demon souls approached, he suddenly raised both hands and swung them forward with a fierce motion. Instantly, a violent wind howled, sweeping the souls into a vortex, trapping them firmly within his hands. Dao Art, Fusion. Wang Lin's voice was calm, but a chilling aura spread. As his words fell, his eyes gleamed with a strange light. The fusion Dao Art of Blue Dream Dao Sovereign was immediately unleashed. Explosive sounds echoed throughout the cave mansion, and the many souls merged together, once again letting out a heart-wrenching roar, trying to break free. But Wang Lin's hands remained as still as an immovable celestial prison. Wang Lin closed his eyes, focusing entirely on the fusion. Under the influence of his Dao Art, the many souls continued to merge, and time passed slowly. In the blink of an eye, 7 days had passed. During these 7 days, Wang Lin kept performing the fusion technique without the slightest break. On this day, the souls in his hands had transformed into a fluffy mass. Just then, the mass suddenly flickered with a ghostly light, growing brighter and brighter. In an instant, it nearly illuminated the entire cave mansion. A violent aura suddenly erupted from the fluffy mass. At the same time, a deafening roar, like the combined voices of countless demon souls, exploded. You want to refine the souls of my ancient demon clan? Impossible. Blood refining. Wang Lin's eyes snapped open. Without hesitation, he bit his tongue, spurting a mouthful of blood onto the fluffy mass. This blood contained the power of the origin and was also the essence of Wang Lin's ancient god heart. As the blood touched the mass, a miserable scream echoed. The fluffy mass became chaotic, as if it could collapse at any moment. The ghostly light within it was nearly shattered, replaced by a sea of blood. As the blood flowed, it gradually spread across the entire fluffy mass. After some time, the mass turned a deep crimson. Wang Lin let out a sigh of relief, raised his right hand, and grabbed the demon soul vase. He released his primordial energy, which surged into the vase. Immediately, a massive black mist erupted from it, with countless demon souls rushing out. As soon as these souls appeared, they were immediately absorbed by the blood-red fluffy mass. This ancient demon artifact contains the souls of 3,000 ancient demons. By fusing these 3,000 souls, I can create my ancient demon clone's soul. Wang Lin swung his sleeve, and the mist in the cave mansion gathered around him, enveloping his body and creating a dense cloud of demonic fog. Time passed slowly as Wang Lin continued to refine the demon souls, and a month had gone by. With less than a month remaining until the selection for the Live Fall Assembly in the Land of Falling Stars, Wang Lin had been in seclusion within the Dark Scorpion clan for more than 2 months. During this time, a major event occurred in the Land of Falling Stars. At the edge of the Land of Falling Stars, on an abandoned savage star, one day, a powerful burst of blue flame suddenly erupted, engulfing the entire star. However, the flame didn't last long. It dissipated in less than half an incense stick's worth of time, returning to calm. But in that brief moment, it caused a stir among all fire cultivators in the Land of Falling Stars. Whether they were in meditation, speeding along, or in combat, at the moment the flames erupted on the savage star, all of them felt a shock, as if the fire energy within them was uncontrollable. Attempting to escape their bodies and head towards the direction of the savage star, as if called by some mysterious force. This strange phenomenon startled all fire cultivators, especially those of the Fire Sparrow clan, who felt it most intensely. The elder from the Fire Sparrow clan who had previously traded with Wang Lin was meditating when suddenly, his entire body erupted in flames, transforming into a firebird as if preparing to take flight. This caused the elder's face to change drastically. This event drew the full attention of the Fire Sparrow clan in the Land of Falling Stars. The elder wasted no time and rushed out of seclusion, bringing several clan members straight to the savage star. But when they arrived, no matter how they searched, they found nothing. However, the elder did sense a faint origin energy similar to that of the soul elixir they had previously encountered. At the same time, a shocking event also occurred in the Fire Sparrow clan within the ancient star of antiquity. 3 members of the Fire Sparrow clan who had escorted items back from the Land of Falling Stars immediately submitted their items and waited for a summons. They were filled with anxiety, unsure whether the items would be valued by the clan. Within the vast star domain occupied by the Fire Sparrow clan of the ancient star of antiquity, their Fire Sparrow prime star was adorned with countless statues of fire sparrows. Among them, one statue stood towering, almost touching the heavens, its entire form engulfed in blazing flames. Beneath that statue, there stood a grand hall. Inside it, an elderly man sat cross-legged. His face was ruddy with an inner radiance, and his entire body was wreathed in flames. He was none other than the clan leader of the Fire Sparrow clan. Before him hovered a single droplet of burning blood. His gaze was locked onto that droplet, eyes filled with shock and awe. This is an origin source. A piercing light burst from the elder's eyes. In a sudden motion, he snatched the droplet of blood and stepped forward, vanishing instantly without a trace. When he reappeared, it was deep within the heart of this cultivation star. The entire interior had long since been hollowed out, filled with a surging sea of fire so intense that even a seasoned fire cultivator would struggle to endure its heat. The elder sped through the inferno, weaving between the flames with blinding speed. Before long, he arrived at the deepest point of the cultivation star's core, where the fire had turned a terrifying deep violet. At the very center of those violet flames, a flickering formation could faintly be seen. Within it sat a middle-aged man in purple robes, cross-legged in meditation. Each breath he took exhaled a world-shaking aura, circulating slowly within him. The elder dared not approach the violet flames. Standing at the periphery, he clasped his fists in respect and called out, "Xun'er humbly requests an audience with the ancestor." Once he spoke, the elder remained motionless, waiting to be summoned. After a long while, the middle-aged man within the purple sea of flames slowly opened his eyes. In that instant, between his brows and in both eyes, 3 strange marks appeared, forming a triangle. These were flame marks, each a different color. The mark at his brow burned violet. The mark in his right eye shone blue, while the mark in his left eye was a hazy phantom flame, almost illusory, as though it did not exist, though a careful glance would reveal a faint trace. That ethereal flame seemed unstable, still indistinct. Yet it was precisely this single trace of ethereal fire that caused the elder outside the fire sea to tremble in both body and soul the moment he saw it. Lowering his head, he dared not steal a second glance. Within the sacred land, even as clan leader, you may not take a single step without my summons. Have you forgotten? The middle-aged man's voice was calm and even. Cold sweat broke out on the elder's face. He licked his lips and hurriedly lowered his voice, saying, "Ancestor, I beg your pardon." This Xun'er was momentarily reckless, but a clansman has discovered a droplet of blood, most unusual in nature. It requires the ancestor's personal examination. The middle-aged man's expression remained unchanged, as though nothing in heaven and earth could stir him. His eyes stayed indifferent. This coldness, paired with the burning flames in his pupils, made his presence all the more uncanny. You let such a trivial matter unsettle you? As clan leader, I am most displeased. Hand over the blood and leave. According to the 3rd rule of the clan laws, see to your own punishment. The elder's face turned ashen. He wanted to defend himself, but upon raising his eyes and seeing the ancestor seated within the violet flames, he could only lower his head and respond softly, "Yes, ancestor." Raising his right hand, he turned his palm to reveal the burning droplet of blood. As it floated in the air, the elder bowed his head and withdrew. The middle-aged man made a casual motion with his right hand, and in an instant, the droplet of blood shot through the violet fire sea and landed in his grasp. His expression remained composed as he swept a glance over the droplet, but in that moment, his entire body jolted, his eyes widening abruptly as he stared fixedly at it. This is... The serenity on his face shattered instantly, replaced by shock and disbelief. He hurriedly brought the droplet closer, releasing his divine sense in a roaring surge, scanning the blood hundreds of times. With each pass, the astonishment in his gaze only deepened. "Vermilion bird blood! This is vermilion bird blood!" The middle-aged man abruptly stood, holding the blood close to his lips, extending his tongue for a taste. His body shuddered violently once more. No doubt about it, the origin source within this is unmistakable. This is indeed vermilion bird blood. Vermilion bird. His expression grew fervent, his left hand rising sharply in a grasping gesture. At that very moment, the Fire Sparrow clan leader, who was about to emerge from beneath the cultivation star and return to the surface suddenly. On this day, 6 days before the selection of the Falling Life Society, a sudden and violent change swept over the thick demonic mist on the Lightning Thunder clan's cultivation star. From a distance, one could see the overwhelming surge of demonic energy roaring thunderously. At the same time, this energy rapidly contracted, rushing inward like a tidal wave towards the heart of the cultivation star. This unexpected event immediately captured the attention of both the Lightning Thunder clan and the Cloud Evasion clan, prompting them to disperse their divine senses to investigate. Suddenly, they noticed that all the demonic mist in the surroundings was converging towards the cave mansion where Wang Lin was in seclusion. It was as if a swirling black hole had appeared within that cave, drawing all the demonic energy toward it. In mere moments, the endless demonic mist vanished without a trace, all of it absorbed into Wang Lin's cave mansion. If one were to look down from above, they would clearly see the demonic energy swirling like an immense vortex, with the center of that vortex being Wang Lin's cave. The swirling and contracting motion was so rapid that it left one barely able to react. Inside Wang Lin's cave mansion, as the demonic energy condensed, it formed a thick mist that was impenetrable even to divine sense. This mist continued to contract, and deep within its depths, Wang Lin sat cross-legged, with a small dark red figure floating in front of him. This figure was blurry, resembling an essence spirit, but more like a soul body. Its appearance was exactly like Wang Lin's, though its expression was twisted with brutality and madness, emanating a menacing aura. At this moment, the figure opened its mouth, continuously devouring the rushing demonic energy. After a short while, all the demonic energy within the cave seemed to be swallowed whole. The little figure's body became slightly more solid, yet it still appeared unsatisfied. Its face twisted with intense brutality as it suddenly turned, staring fixatedly at Wang Lin. With a sharp, piercing howl, it lunged at him, seemingly intent on devouring even Wang Lin himself. In that instant, Wang Lin's eyes snapped open, revealing a chilling glare. His gaze sparked like lightning, locking onto the little figure. Get lost. With a cold snort, without any sign of using a divine art, the figure that was about to pounce emitted a wail of despair and was flung backward to land to the side. I created you, and I can just as easily destroy you. Wang Lin rose to his feet, raising his right hand to grasp the air, immediately reaching for the little figure. Fear flickered across the little figure's face. Just as Wang Lin's hand grasped toward it, the figure suddenly moved, exploding apart with a thunderous boom into countless wisps of mist that rapidly dispersed in all directions. In a blink, these wisps managed to evade Wang Lin's grasp and coalesced back into form outside the cave. As soon as it reappeared, it dashed away, transforming into a cloud of demonic mist that quickly vanished out of sight. Wang Lin's expression remained calm as a sly smile played on his lips. He formed a seal with his right hand and blew out a breath, instantly sending forth a chilling scream from afar. Shortly thereafter, the demonic soul little figure, which had fled far away, turned and flew back, kneeling before Wang Lin, trembling as its form appeared increasingly vague, on the verge of dissipating. With a single breath, I can turn you to ashes. Wang Lin's eyes glinted with iciness as he spoke slowly. The little figure quaked even more fiercely, hastily bowing its head, as if begging for mercy. Wang Lin raised his right hand, grasping the air once more. Suddenly, the mist demon spear appeared before him, and with a gesture, he pointed at the little figure. The demonic soul resonated with Wang Lin's thoughts, its face revealing hesitation and struggle. Wang Lin let out a cold hum. The demonic soul trembled and transformed into a streak of black light, darting toward the mist demon spear in an instant. As it fused with the spear, it seemed to come alive, unleashing an overwhelming force that transformed into a massive black demonic python. It broke through the cave, coiling into the sky and letting out an earth-shattering roar. On the cultivation star, the people of the Lightning Thunder clan stood frozen, gazing up at the sky where the imposing black python loomed, their minds rattled. The members of the Cloud Evasion clan were similarly awestruck, their eyes filled with horror as they stared at the shrieking black python, an indescribable fear spreading through their hearts. This black python was imbued with unimaginable brutality and madness, its bloodlust palpable, as if all living beings in the world were its enemies. Zhang Dahong swallowed hard, excitement gleaming in his eyes. Unlike Su Ligua, he felt a sense of glory the more powerful Wang Lin became. In his exhilaration, he immediately knelt and shouted, Master's treasure has achieved greatness, unmatched in power. As the black python roared in the sky, its form gradually dissipated into black light, barreling down toward Wang Lin and vanishing into his body. Beside Wang Lin's essence spirit, a tiny demon soul minion had emerged. Its eyes were shut tight, completely suppressed by Wang Lin's essence spirit, unable to resist or struggle in the slightest. Wang Lin's expression was calm, but a faint hint of satisfaction flickered in his eyes. Though the demon soul doppelganger had yet to fully form, its prototype was already taking shape. After several rounds of ritual refinement, it would become a true doppelganger. I wonder, once my divine, demonic, and beast forms merge as one, will I truly revert to ancestral primordial as I've foreseen? Wang Lin licked his lips. Raising his right hand, he grasped at the void, and immediately, two items appeared before him. A withered yellow leaf and a sealed treant. Within the land of falling stars, the elder selection of the Falling Life Society, also known as the Grand Ceremony, had stirred every minor clan that qualified to compete for the elder position into fervent preparation. The ceremony took place on the most mysterious and unfathomable star within the land of falling stars, the Emperor Star. This star, located among the ancient stars of antiquity, was of great renown. It had long been a focus of research by the Council of Elders. Rumors of the Emperor Star circulated widely throughout the ancient star of antiquity. Anyone who had ever laid eyes on the Emperor Star would never forget the awe-inspiring sight. You see, most cultivation stars in the ancient star of antiquity were spherical. Even those that were irregular in shape would generally appear round. It was an odd phenomenon that many cultivators with great divine ability had tried to understand. In the end, only a few clues had been uncovered. It wasn't until the Council of Elders conducted years of research that a theory was announced, the rotation principle. They proposed that all celestial bodies were constantly rotating, and that through countless eons, even irregular cultivation stars would eventually take on a circular shape. But the Emperor Star defied this rule completely. It was shaped like an elongated strip, and when viewed from the vast heavens above, it resembled the pointer of a compass, slowly rotating. No one knew why the Emperor Star was this way. It served as the sacred ground of the Falling Life Society and was also where the fallen Emperor's cave mansion lay. Normally, the Emperor Star was surrounded by unimaginable rending force and suffused with primordial magnetism, rendering all magical treasures useless and suppressing even cultivation itself. Only during the elder selection of the Falling Life Society would these forces partially subside, allowing access through several fixed channels into its interior. Aside from the 300-plus minor clans participating in the selection, certain individuals from the ancient star of antiquity would also attend, either as spectators or occasionally as supporters, invited by those same clans. The fallen emperor had never interfered in these affairs. Over time, this tacit allowance had become an unspoken rule. However, one strict law remained. Any clan from outside the land of falling stars was forbidden from becoming an elder. Violation meant certain death. For every elder selection, the Council of Elders would send representatives, both to show respect for the Falling Life Society and the fallen emperor, and to observe or even support certain clans up close. Besides the Council of Elders, the Falling Life Society would also send out invitation jade slips, summoning powerful figures from the ancient star of antiquity. Yet through all of this, the fallen emperor remained indifferent, as if the entire elder selection was nothing more than a spectacle in his eyes. In the starry skies, Wang Lin advanced toward the Emperor Star, flanked by members of the Dark Scorpion clan and the Cloud Evasion clan. Elsewhere in the ancient star of antiquity, just beyond the land of falling stars, a woman with long, flowing hair stood silently atop a massive octagonal diagram. Her brows were furrowed, deep in thought as she stared into the distance. A middle-aged man stood beside her, his gaze equally fixed forward, expression dark and brooding. Grand Diviner Yunluo, that fallen emperor destroyed my doppelganger. What does the Council of Elders have to say about that? There will be compensation, Yunluo replied softly, her eyes lingering on the distant edge of the starfield where the land of falling stars lay. She silently mused to herself, to have earned the protection of the fallen emperor. I truly wish to see this person for myself. Could he be the one mentioned in the ancestral divination? Elsewhere in the same star domain, in another direction, a gentle blue glow spread across the heavens. Within that glow, Blue Dream Dao Sovereign walked slowly forward, hands clasped behind his back. Behind him, Li Qianmei followed silently. Elder Imu, Wu Dongchan, and even the one who was already dead. Ji Xiantian. The Emperor Star was shrouded in a haze of illusion. From afar, it seemed obscured and indistinct, veiled in mist. But within that mist of illusion, massive rifts would occasionally appear, gaping maws that seemed to devour everything in their path. Even more unnerving were the faint gray threads drifting through the fog. Upon closer inspection, it was clear these were not tangible strands, but were torn into existence by waves of magnetic repulsion. Before even approaching, Wang Lin could already sense an overwhelming power within that illusory mist, a force capable of rending the sky and earth, unraveling divine arts, and shattering magical treasures. This was not caused by any cultivator or artifact. It was celestial might, a manifestation of the power of creation itself. Wang Lin's pupils constricted. He studied it intently for a long time, his body hovering just outside the edge of the mist. Outside the mist, many cultivators had already gathered. They clustered in groups of dozens or hundreds, scattered across the area. Many who were familiar with one another spoke in low tones. From above, the crowd of cultivators looked dense and teeming. The arrival of Wang Lin's group immediately drew the attention of several divine senses. After briefly scanning the Dark Scorpion clan and the Cloud Evasion clan, these divine senses gradually withdrew. As for Wang Lin himself, due to his cultivation, few could truly see through him. He remained composed, his gaze cold as he looked ahead. "Senior," the Dark Scorpion clan leader said softly beside Wang Lin, "every elder selection of the Falling Life Society is held here, on the Emperor's Star. However, due to the presence of the magnetic rift, no cultivator can pass through it. Only after everyone has arrived will a single unified passage be opened from within, allowing all to enter one by one. We're not late. The passage should open soon." Wang Lin gave a small nod, sweeping his eyes across the sea of cultivators gathered outside the Emperor's Star. There were likely tens of thousands here. Despite the sheer number and the vastness of the starry sky, they still seemed insignificant. Who would have thought the Cloud Evasion clan would take a liking to those tunnel-dwelling scorpions, even making them vassals? How amusing. The voice was sharp and mocking. From among a clan of nearly 1,000, a middle-aged man in blue robes stepped forward. Though his appearance was ordinary, his eyes gleamed coldly like a venomous snake. A serpentine mark on his brow made him look even more sinister. His words were laced with ridicule, and as he spoke, he stopped in place, sweeping his gaze over Wang Lin's group. The Dark Scorpion clan leader's expression darkened. He glared at the man and gave a dismissive snort. "That's the first elder of the Soul Serpent clan," he said quietly to Wang Lin. They clashed with the Cloud Evasion clan during the last elder selection. It ended in a draw, and both sides were eliminated. There's always been friction between them. Standing beside Wang Lin was also the Cloud Evasion clan leader. Upon hearing the Soul Serpent elder's taunt, he remained calm, head lowered, silent. "I heard the Cloud Evasion clan invited Greedy Wolf as their honored guest. With him on your side, I suppose you're set on winning this elder selection. But strangely, I don't see that esteemed Greedy Wolf among you." The middle-aged man sneered, his tone seemingly casual but clearly laced with power that echoed around them. Everyone present, thousands of cultivators from lesser clans of the Land of Falling Stars, had come to compete for a spot as elder in the Falling Life Society. Any clan qualified for the position saw the others as rivals. Gathering information on opponents or glimpsing their hidden strength could be critical in securing the elder title. The Soul Serpent elder's words instantly drew the attention of many toward the Cloud Evasion clan. The name Greedy Wolf carried weight in the Land of Falling Stars. With his support, the Cloud Evasion clan instantly became a force to reckon with. "I too heard that fellow Taoist Greedy Wolf became the Cloud Evasion clan's protector," another voice rang out. An elder in a violet Tao robe stepped forward. Though slightly pale, his voice was firm and resonant. On his brow were 3 ripple-like arcs, resembling water waves. "Long ago, Taoist Greedy Wolf once helped me. I've always hoped to pay him a visit. Yun Dunzi, may I ask why Taoist Greedy Wolf isn't here? Little Scorpion tribe members, do you not see this old man? Come forth and kneel before me." The Riverine clan leader's gaze flickered as he spoke slowly, but his eyes were fixed on Wang Lin. The Dark Scorpion clan leader's face immediately changed. In front of so many clan members and cultivators, the other party actually dared to use the name of the elder of the Falling Life Society to demand that he kneel. Such words were an enormous insult. The commotion caught the attention of the surrounding cultivators, and many turned to watch the drama unfold. A middle-aged man from the Soul Serpent clan smiled, shaking his head, and said, "The Little Scorpion tribe, even if they want to climb higher, should choose more carefully. To follow the Cloud Evasion clan is really unwise. But I can't entirely blame you. After all, the Scorpion tribe, living in underground caves all their lives, are nothing more than short-sighted creatures. Why are you not coming? Fine then, you. Come here. Kneel before me. The 13th elder of the Falling Life Society, the Riverine clan leader, raised his right hand and pointed directly at Wang Lin. As soon as these words were spoken, the Dark Scorpion clan leader's expression returned to normal, a mocking smile curling at the corner of his lips. Not only him, but even the Cloud Evasion clan leader, who had been looking down, now raised his head, his eyes filled with sarcasm and a deep sense of concealed pride. Wang Lin smiled, gazing at the elder who had spoken. Slowly, he said, "Is your name not worth speaking?" The 13th elder of the Falling Life Society's eyes flashed. He had noticed that the Cloud Evasion clan leader had covertly glanced at Wang Lin, and that, from his position, it seemed as if Wang Lin were being treated with respect. This led him to speak out. As the 13th elder of the Falling Life Society, in order to secure re-election, he needed to establish his prestige. Even though the Dark Scorpion clan was small, the Cloud Evasion clan was not weak, and with Greedy Wolf as their benefactor, it was the perfect opportunity to display his power. In the elder's mind, Wang Lin must have been sent by the absent Greedy Wolf. Using Wang Lin to establish his prestige was as good as using Greedy Wolf's name. However, the mockery in the eyes of the Cloud Evasion and Dark Scorpion clan leaders made the elder feel a sense of unease. This man must be sent by Greedy Wolf. Though Greedy Wolf is strong, I am still the elder of the Falling Life Society, so I am not afraid. The elder snorted coldly and said in a deep voice, "Only those with the right qualifications can speak. But I wonder, do you have that qualification?" All the clan elders and leaders around, cunning and experienced, quickly realized what was happening. Many, like the 13th elder, thought Wang Lin must have been sent by Greedy Wolf. "You must not be from the land of falling stars. I advise you to kneel before me quickly." "Even your master, Greedy Wolf, would kneel in such a setting," said the Soul Serpent clan's great elder, his eyes flashing. He had intentionally stirred up this conflict and was pleased to see the Cloud Evasion clan become the target for the 13th elder to display his prestige. Qualification. Wang Lin smiled. Who dares say that the elder is unqualified? A deep roar suddenly echoed from afar. The sound of whistling winds shook the sky, and 1,000 cultivators, like long rainbows, rushed toward the scene, heading straight for them. Leading the group was a young man, flanked by several elders who had reached the decay of heaven and man. Their momentum was deafening as they arrived in an instant, standing beside Wang Lin and his group. The young man immediately stepped forward, bowing deeply to Wang Lin, cupping his hands in salute, and looking up with great respect. He then loudly declared, "I, the Dragon Armor Tribe leader, pay my respects to the senior." Behind him, all the over 1,000 members of the Dragon Armor Tribe, including many great cultivators, also bowed in respect, their faces showing reverence and fear. In unison, they cupped their hands and said, "We pay our respects, senior." This scene was witnessed by all the cultivators present, and their expressions instantly changed. Dragon Armor Tribe? The Dragon Armor Tribe of the 9th Elder. It's rumored that the Dragon Armor Tribe leader, the former 9th Elder of the Falling Life Society, was dismissed months ago, and the Dragon Armor Tribe has elected a new leader. This news spread far and wide, but the details about the dismissal of the 9th Elder remain a closely guarded secret. Though the Dragon Armor Tribe is small, it is very powerful. Among the 372 clans of the Land of Falling Stars, they are ranked among the top 10. Who is this person that even the Dragon Armor Tribe bows to him? Could he have no connection to Greedy Wolf? The middle-aged man from the Soul Serpent clan froze for a moment, a flash of brilliance appearing in his eyes. As for the Riverine clan elder, his face immediately darkened. He stared at Wang Lin and then at the Dragon Armor Tribe members, who looked at him with fear. A terrifying guess suddenly rose in his mind. This guess immediately hit him like cold water, shaking him to his core. His eyes widened in shock, disbelief creeping into his expression. It's impossible. I must be overthinking this. At this moment, the illusory mist formed by the primordial magnetic rift outside the Emperor's star suddenly began to stir. A series of rumbling sounds echoed from within, spreading outwards. Then, a path was violently torn open in the mist, bursting outward with a tremendous force, revealing what lay beyond. From within the passage, several dozen cultivators with cold, stern expressions emerged. Leading them was none other than the Imperial Envoy who had previously appeared on the cultivation star of the Dragon Armor Tribe. As he stepped forward, he paid no attention to those around him, heading straight for Wang Lin. Witnessing this, the 13th elder felt his heart jolt violently. And it wasn't just the envoy. Every cultivator who emerged from the passage followed in haste, stopping Tinzhong away from Wang Lin. They clasped their fists in unison and respectfully shouted, "Greetings, young emperor." The entire starry sky fell into sudden, deathly silence. Among the hundreds of clans and tens of thousands of cultivators present, expressions shifted dramatically. They stared blankly at Wang Lin and his companions, eyes filled with shock and disbelief. The existence of a young emperor. This had been publicly announced months ago by the fallen emperor himself via Jade Slip, informing all clans, but without revealing who it was. And so, for many here, this was the first time seeing the person himself. Young Emperor, the middle-aged man from the Soul Serpent clan turned deathly pale, horror flashing in his eyes. His heart pounded wildly, mouth dry, cold sweat beading on his forehead. His gaze toward Wang Lin turned blank and rigid. The 13th elder of the Falling Life Society fared no better. His expression shifted dramatically, and he instinctively stepped back a few paces, his heart and mind trembling, eyes filled with fear. He had never imagined that his guess would turn out to be true. "I should have realized the moment I saw the dragon armor tried." That 9th elder was removed by the great emperor precisely because he offended this man. And I actually tried to establish prestige by targeting him. The Riverine clan leader's heart quivered as he licked his dry lips, a wave of panic welling up within him. "My apologies for keeping the young emperor waiting." The imperial envoy clasped his fists again, explaining respectfully. "It's just that opening the passage via the primordial magnetic rift takes time. That's why there was a slight delay." At these words, the tens of thousands of cultivators finally realized the designated time for the passage to open hadn't even arrived yet. Under normal circumstances, it should have taken several more hours. The passage was opened early. For the young emperor? There are only 2 young emperors in the land of falling stars. Now a third has appeared, and this third one is clearly held in even higher regard by the great emperor. Otherwise, the passage wouldn't have opened ahead of schedule. This sort of thing has never happened before. That 13th elder was truly blind to reality, offending the young emperor like that. Let's see how he ends up. And that first elder of the Soul Serpent clan. He's probably doomed too. The 2 sentences from the imperial envoy stirred up a massive wave of commotion in the hearts of the tens of thousands of cultivators. Wang Lin remained calm, simply nodding slightly to the cultivators who had saluted him. "Young emperor, please enter the Emperor Star." The envoy quickly stepped aside with great respect, making way. Wang Lin strode forward steadily. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, accompanied by the imperial envoy, he moved toward the passage opened within the mist of the primordial magnetic rift. Seeing this, the 13th elder quietly breathed a sigh of relief. A sense of luck rose in his heart. Wang Lin didn't seem the type to hold grudges. Perhaps he wouldn't make things difficult. After all, he was an elder of the Falling Life Society. Even if Wang Lin was a young emperor, he would still need to show a bit of face. He might even try to win him over. This one has a kind and generous heart. Though he bears the title of young emperor, he seems someone who can be manipulated. Just as this thought flashed through his mind, the 13th elder's pupils suddenly contracted. Wang Lin had taken only a few steps before abruptly halting. He turned to scan the surrounding cultivators, and his gaze locked coldly onto the middle-aged man from the Soul Serpent clan. That icy gaze fell on the man like a blade. In that instant, the man's body trembled violently, sweat pouring out in streams. To him, Wang Lin's gaze was as tangible as sharp swords, instantly piercing his mind and soul, leaving him frozen and filled with dread. The imperial envoy beside Wang Lin also stopped and turned to look at the Soul Serpent clan cultivator. His face immediately darkened. "Seize him," the envoy ordered coldly. At his words, one of the cultivators by his side moved without hesitation, heading straight for the middle-aged man. The Soul Serpent clan man let out a bitter laugh, despair filling his eyes. Behind him, the other clan members' expressions twisted in panic. Wang Lin ignored the man and instead turned his gaze toward the clan leader of the Riverine clan and the 13th elder of the Falling Life Society. The 13th elder's heart skipped a beat, his face turning ashen. Cancel his position as elder of the Falling Life Society and send him to the Thunder Cultivation Star of the Dark Scorpion clan, where he must kneel for 100 years. Wang Lin pointed at the 13th elder, speaking slowly to the imperial envoy beside him. The imperial envoy hesitated for a moment, but after catching the cold indifference flashing in Wang Lin's eyes, he nodded. "Riverine clan, cancel the 13th Elder's position in the Falling Life Society. Wang Lin continued, then looked toward the clan leader of the Cloud Evasion clan in the distance. Sever one of your arms, and let this serve as a lesson. The Cloud Evasion clan leader froze, cold sweat beading on his forehead. He understood Wang Lin's power and had only purposefully glanced at him earlier, trying to shift the attention onto Wang Lin, so others would provoke him. He never expected that subtle move to be so easily detected by Wang Lin. At that moment, gritting his teeth, he raised his right hand, forming a sword with his fingers. Without hesitation, he stabbed it into his left shoulder. With a loud thud, his left arm instantly went limp, its meridian severed. Thank you, young emperor, for your mercy. I was wrong, the Cloud Evasion clan leader said, his face pale, speaking in a low voice. With a calm expression, Wang Lin turned and walked toward the passage formed by the fog of the primordial magnetic rift. The surroundings fell into an even deeper silence, as the gazes of tens of thousands of cultivators fixated on Wang Lin. Each one felt a tremor in their hearts, a sense of awe rising within them. However, some remained disdainful, thinking Wang Lin was merely using the young emperor's name to bully others. Humph, if he weren't the young emperor, could he be this arrogant? The young emperor isn't the only one. He's come to the Emperor's Star to undergo the young emperor trial. Only after passing it can he truly become the young emperor. That's right, the young emperor trial is incredibly difficult. Over the years, no one who participated, even if not personally selected by the great emperor, has ever succeeded. Even if Wang Lin was chosen by the great emperor, passing it won't be easy. The young emperor holds immense responsibility. He can lead all the cultivators in the land of falling stars. Even the grand diviners of the ancient star of antiquity would show respect to the young emperor. The imperial envoy followed behind Wang Lin, nearing the passage. As soon as they stepped in, Wang Lin immediately felt the force of the tearing power filling the tunnel. The surrounding primordial magnetism felt like it was drawing his primordial energy out of his body. However, the force wasn't too strong within the passage. Outside, within the primordial magnetic rift, the pressure was far more terrifying. Wang Lin expanded his divine sense and, with a slight observation, stepped forward. But just as Wang Lin had taken more than 10 paces, he suddenly paused, his expression shifting. He turned his head toward the distance, and in that instant, an earth-shattering howl rang out from afar. The sound was startling, immediately shattering the silence outside the Emperor's Star and drawing the attention of all present. Even the Imperial Envoy's expression changed. In the distant starry sky, a massive 8-sided wheel came rumbling toward them. The wheel, several hundred feet in size, radiated blinding rays, covered in shimmering symbols, adding to its imposing presence. The wheel neared quickly, and within a blink, it arrived at the Emperor's Star. 2 figures stood upon it. The first figure was a woman with flowing long hair, her raven tresses fluttering in the wind. Her appearance was stunning, her eyes like moonlight, with an otherworldly gleam that captivated all the cultivators around. She stood there like a celestial being, her clothes swaying gently as her hair danced with the breeze. Beside her stood a middle-aged man, his expression grim. His figure was massive, like a mountain, exuding a natural aura of terrifying pressure. This pressure spread out like a storm, causing all nearby cultivators to change color and hurriedly step back. Surrounding the man were swirling mist-like tendrils, within which twisted, illusory faces could be seen, emitting silent and sorrowful howls. There were millions of these distorted faces, a terrifying sight. Devotional power. Third step, great power. Some cultivators immediately recognized the source of the mist, their faces changing drastically. Greetings, great emperor. This is Xun'er of the Grand Diviner Society, here to pay respects on behalf of the Grand Diviner Society and observe the ceremony of the Falling Life Society's elder. Greetings to all the friends of the land of falling stars, the long-haired woman said in a soft voice, a delicate smile on her face. Simaja, greetings to the great emperor. The middle-aged man, Simaja, said coldly. His gaze shifted toward the Emperor's Star, but then instantly sharpened as a murderous intent flashed in his eyes. He saw Wang Lin. Wang Lin also saw Simaja. The two locked eyes from a distance, their gazes clashing like 2 incredibly sharp sword auras capable of destroying the heavens and earth. Little bastard! Simaja's eyes were filled with fury, his voice squeezing through his teeth, filled with intense malice. Defeated fool! All you know is to bark with your tongue, pretending to be a great power. Wang Lin's expression remained calm as he spoke slowly. Do you dare to fight me? Simaja's most bitter grievance was the death of his doppelganger. At the moment Wang Lin brought it up, A murderous aura erupted from him, overwhelming the surroundings. Wang Lin laughed loudly in response, his eyes filled with mockery. He spoke, "Do you dare enter this primordial magnetic rift mist and self-destruct your cultivation in the fifth decay of heaven and man, and fight me then?" As soon as the words left his mouth, the surrounding area fell into an uproar. Simaja was momentarily stunned, unable to speak, but his face turned as dark as a storm cloud. He did not dare. "Your words are sharp, fellow cultivator, but I wonder, what is your name? Would you mind telling Yin Luo?" A long-haired woman smiled, her moonlit gaze falling on Wang Lin. However, to Wang Lin, her smile appeared utterly fake, making him feel disgusted. The Grand Priest of the Eternal Council, whether in cultivation or tradition, it has been passed down through the ages. You, a little brat with less than 1,000 years of cultivation, dare to call yourself my peer and address me as fellow cultivator? There's no respect for age. Did your master teach you to ask the names of seniors like this? Wang Lin's expression was cold, and his words were even colder.